Ryan Clark is catching a lot of flack from this statement he made here. She really is the one, referencing Paige Beckers. Paige Beckers has been the number one from that class. Angel and Caitlin capitalized on their time. First off, they've only been playing for 2 seasons. You can't say someone's already capitalized on their opportunity when they just got into the league. If you had said that they've already capitalized on their time after they played 15 to 20 seasons, let's just say, for example, you want to make a comparison to like LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant. You want to say that Shea is the face of the league now, and they've already, taken advantage of their opportunity. That's a better comp. But to say that Angel and Caitlin have already capitalized on getting fame, getting attention from the WNBA, and being the faces is insane. It doesn't make any sense. And saying that Beckers can become the face of it all. When it comes to the face of a sport, you also have to be winning. You could be super talented, you could be really good at what you're doing. But if you're not winning basketball games, you're not in the playoffs, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, then you're not really the face of the league. Hate to break it to you. When it comes to a guy like LaMelo Ball, super talented, doesn't stay healthy, and when he's playing, the Hornets aren't good. He's fun to watch, but is he the face of the league? No, he is not. We could look at a guy like, Carmelo Anthony. People say, oh, Paige Beckers won the NCAA championship. Well, so did Carmelo Anthony as well. And he's not in the same conversations as other players who have won NBA championships. Also, Caitlin Clark, as a rookie, led her team to the playoffs. Paige Beckers is not going to do that this season. I understand you have to have a good roster, but at the same time, let's say next season, this Wings team has more experience playing together and they don't make the playoffs. You can't call her the face of the league, especially when Caitlin Clark does come back and is hooping. And the Fever end up being a top 3 seed next year. They make a deep playoff run, while the Wings either miss the playoffs or make it as a lower seed and they get knocked out in the first round, while the Fever have success in the playoffs. Who's going to get more attention? Who's going to be seen as the face of the league? It's going to be Caitlin Clark. And if Paige Beckers next year has her team at the bottom of the standings, while Caitlin Clark is leading her team to the top of the standings and they're experiencing success with their wins, it's going to be a comparison that's going to look really bad in the end. You have to win in the league as well. You have to have influence and aura. Those are just part of being faces of your sport. If you don't have that type of influence where you can sell out arenas, because Paige Beckers doesn't have that influence right now, Caitlin Clark does. If she doesn't have that type of impact and effect on fans, then people are not going to say she's the face of a league. Yes, she had a great game. Anybody can have a fantastic night. That's great. And she's probably going to win Rookie of the Year, even though I think Citron has an argument for it. But at the same time, scoring 44 points, it's hard to argue against Paige Beckers at this stage of the season. But at the same time, Citron is shooting better from the 3, and she has more wins for the Mystics on her team. Now, I understand it's a team sport. However, you got to factor that in, because if you're impacting winning, you can't just ignore that. So I think this has more to do with Ryan Clark just not liking Caitlin Clark. It's just obvious because the WNBA is trying to push Paige Beckers and trying to separate themselves from Caitlin Clark, and it's not going to work. And on top of that, Angel Reese, she's been balling over the last 2 months now. I mean, she's been not 2 months, over the last month, she's been hooping. Like, she's been averaging double-double, shooting better from the field. Deserves a ton of credit for her turnaround this season. And to act like she isn't going to have any type of impact or influence is crazy talk. Angel Reese will still have an impact. I know people don't like her personality all the time because she's too cocky, and I get it. I totally understand. She's not bigger than Caitlin Clark, but Angel Reese has more influence than Paige Beckers right now. You can argue that maybe Paige Beckers would be better than Angel Reese. I'm not going to argue with that. However, when it comes to marketability, when it comes to exposure, Angel Reese has more of an impact in that department. So when you look at the face, it's not just putting up numbers and getting buckets. It's what you do off the court. And when you're looking at the attendance for the Wings, they're at the bottom of the WNBA. The top 3 teams right now is the Golden State Valkyries, because, again, Golden State is a basketball town. Fans are going to support whatever team is there, no matter how they're performing or how they're doing. And then you have the Fever second in home attendance, and then you have the New York Liberty third. The Wings are 11th on that list out of 13 teams in the WNBA. That's terrible. So if she had such influence, those numbers would be higher. Could that change next season? Sure. But until it does, we can't say, oh, she could be the face of it all if the numbers don't back it up. You have to have an influence on your fans. And the WNBA is trying to push her, and it might turn fans away even more because they're like, okay, we get what you're trying to do. And she might not be liked. And it's no fault of her own. We see this with other players where they're trying to push them and trying to get the fans to like them. And the thing is, you have to let it happen organically. You can't push somebody down people's throats. It doesn't turn out very well. But yeah, Ryan Clark is way off here. This guy, man, he's just somebody I've never really liked. I mean, he tries to gaslight people with his takes, and I used to like him, but as he got, more into like race baiting and stuff like that, I just got turned off by him. Not to say he doesn't, have no good sports takes, but yeah, this one's just really bad. Maybe stick to football. As this person says, delusional. She has trouble selling out her high school gym. Not a single team moved their game versus Dallas to a bigger arena. Yep, but they did for Caitlin Clark. She's already bigger than Reese, yet 1,000 miles below Clark. I don't know if she's bigger than Reese, though. I don't think she is, in my opinion. Stick to football, my guy, because you clearly don't know hoops. Yeah, this stat says it all. Look, as you can see, the Wings are down there. Yeah. If you go to another stat I saw, they're actually 11th in home attendance. Just not a good stat to be on. And so, yeah, this is just annoying. Comparing, like, this stat is crazy to me because she's played 2 seasons, and you have to understand Caitlin Clark is better. She's a better playmaker. She's better at shooting from the field, especially as a 3-point shooter. Sure, like she's shooting worse from the 3 this year from the field, but she's been hurt. We'll see if Paige Beckers has an injury, what these fans will say. They'll probably use the same lame excuses and cope all day long, just like any fan base. But yeah, she's coming. Yep, she'll be there very, very soon. But hey, just ignore that. And yeah, when big CC Caitlin Clark comes back next season, she's about to show y'all who's better. But at the end of the day, they're going to fall when Juju Watkins gets to the league. We'll see. Juju's nice, but is she going to have the same influence? That's the thing. If she doesn't get the same type of attention and, from fans, then you can't say she's the face. So yeah, we need to see how that works out. But yeah, I'd love to hear thoughts about what Ryan Clark had to say about Paige Beckers potentially being the face of the WNBA, and that somehow, some way, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have already, their time is up. And there's nothing they can do to gain more fans and more influence and become bigger faces in the WNBA. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.